Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Solar Drift 57. Thanks for the suggestion, Solar Drift. You asked, why do some sounds make us uncomfortable? If you've ever cringed at the sound of nails on a chalkboard or wanted to fight someone over loud chewing, you're not alone. But what's happening in our brains when we hear these awful noises? Today we're breaking down the science behind the sounds that make us squirm. So, if you've ever wanted to understand why certain noises feel like a personal attack, stick around as we crack the code on cringe-worthy sounds, right here on Explaining Everything. All right, let's start with the classic, nails on a chalkboard. You hear this, and suddenly your nervous system is in full revolt. But why? Oh no, we're under attack! Sound the alarm! Brain buddy, calm down. It's just a noise. Scientists have found that sounds between 2,000 and 5,000 hertz, the frequency range where a lot of these unpleasant sounds fall, trigger our brain's amygdala. That's the part responsible for fear and survival instincts. Your brain thinks it's hearing something dangerous, like an animal screeching or a baby crying. Back in prehistoric times, these high-pitched, shrill noises usually meant danger, like a predator shrieking. So our ancestors who got super uncomfortable at these sounds, they were the ones who survived. Meanwhile, the caveman, who was like, that's probably nothing. Well, let's just say they didn't make it to the family reunion. Now that we know why, let's talk about the worst sounds ever. Because if we're going to suffer, we're doing it together. Nails on a chalkboard, the OG nightmare. Fork scraping a plate because apparently eating wasn't painful enough. Microphone feedback, the sound that makes every musician rethink their career. A baby crying on an airplane. Sorry, babies, but we can't all be calm about your crises. Someone chewing loudly. Fun fact, if this makes you furious, you might have misophonia, which is basically the I cannot stand chewing noises disorder. Even if you don't have misophonia, let's be honest, loud chewers deserve their section in the library of bad sounds. Nails screeching on glass. As if nails on a chalkboard weren't bad enough, this takes it to a whole new level of agony. That high-pitched, nerve-grating sound feels like it's slicing straight through your brain, leaving you with an uncontrollable urge to shudder and cover your ears. Some people can hear these sounds and be fine, while others are ready to drop-kick a speaker into the sun. Why? Studies show that people who react more strongly to these sounds have more connections between their auditory cortex, the part that processes sound, and their amygdala, aka the panic center. If these sounds send you into full-on fight or flight mode, congratulations! Your brain is just a little extra. This heightened sensitivity means your brain isn't just hearing the sound, it's treating it like a full-scale emergency. So while someone else shrugs off the noise, your nervous system is already preparing for battle, even if the only enemy is a loudly chewing coworker. On the bright side, this reaction likely evolved to help humans detect and avoid danger, like the sound of a predator approaching. Unfortunately, in modern times, it just means you're more likely to rage over someone scraping their fork on a plate. Is there hope? Can we become immune to these sounds? Some studies suggest that exposure therapy can help. That means gradually listening to the sound in small doses until your brain stops panicking like it just heard a horror movie jump scare. Or you could just wear noise-canceling headphones and pretend the problem doesn't exist. I know which option I'm choosing. Over time, your brain can learn to ignore or at least tolerate the sound, much like how city dwellers tune out traffic noise. It's not easy, but with patience, you might go from full-body shudders to just mild annoyance. That said, some sounds might always feel unbearable no matter how much exposure you get. In that case, avoidance isn't a weakness. It's just smart self-preservation. Some sounds are universally hated, but then there are some weird ones. Let's talk about them. A balloon rubbing. Why does this sound like the universe is breaking? Flipping through styrofoam. If you didn't just shudder, I envy you. A knife scraping a bottle. I have no words, just pain. The squeak of wet shoes. Something about this just feels illegal. Some sounds just feel like a personal attack, and I want to file a complaint with the universe. A metal fork scraping teeth. It's a split second of contact, but it's enough to send chills down your spine and make you rethink every bite. That high-pitched ringing in your ear, it comes out of nowhere, lingers just long enough to make you question reality, and then disappears like a ghost. What does it want? Why is it here? No one knows, but it always feels unsettling. So, what have we learned today? 1. Our brains are dramatic. 2. Evolution decided that certain sounds should haunt us forever. And 3. If anyone ever drags their nails down a chalkboard in your presence, well, it's perfectly legal to scream. At the end of the day, sound is a powerful thing. It can trigger memories, stir emotions, and unfortunately, make us irrationally angry. Whether it's a fork scraping a plate or the eerie hum of fluorescent light, these noises remind us that sometimes the smallest things can have the biggest impact on our sanity. Stay safe, protect your ears, and for the love of all things good, please chew with your mouth closed. See you next time. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.